Well, if your name was Shaedon Sharpe or Toumani Camara, yesterday's a pretty good day for you. Here I am, Sunday, trying to watch some NFL football. The NBA's like busting down the door like The Shining.
The Kool-Aid Man.
Hello, let's talk some basketball! 4 years, $90 million for Shaedon Sharpe. That was the reported offer. When did we talk about that? 2 weeks ago? And it was like, is he going to accept it? Does he want more? Is he going to roll the dice?
He wanted more money. There was no doubt about that.
The Blazers clearly were like, nah, that's kind of what we're going to do. We got a deadline. Do you want $90 million guaranteed or do you not want $90 million guaranteed? And he said, I'll take $90 million guaranteed. And then also, Toumani Camara is a guy who's been, hey, there's extension eligible. Is something going to get done? Deadline's coming up. He signed a 4-year, $82 million extension. And so $490 for Sharpe, $482 for Camara. Mm-hmm. The funny thing is, I think everybody would probably tell you they think Camara is a better player, but he gets the cheaper contract.
Definitely.
The way rookie scales work.
Second-round guy.
Second-round guy. So that's just the way the landscape works in the NBA. But I don't think it takes any sort of spin or messaging to say these are unbelievably smart contracts. Shaedon Sharpe is 22, 21, 22?
Yeah.
Turned 22 yet? 22. Just turned 22 in May. And Camara is the first all-defensive team guy that you have had in 20-plus years. So when you get that, let's lock it up. Incredibly affordable. And $490 for Shaedon Sharpe is an absolute steal, I would say, for the organization.
Yeah, I tend to agree with that. I mean, the fact that Shaedon came back and they kept the talks going, and today's the deadline, and he said, you know what, actually, 4 for $90, fair, I'll take it. If he overplays and he improves, this is going to be...
It's a home run deal.
It's a tremendous deal.
Neither of them are an untradeable asset a la Jeremy Grant, where you're like, nobody's going to touch that deal. They're both incredibly team-friendly and movable if you need to get there.
I wanted to get more of a local vibe and check in on it, but I almost went to Keith Smith, who's our good friend who covers everything for Spot Track. He's also going to be on NBA.com with his show, but he said solid extension for Portland, valued Sharpe at 112 over 4, getting him at 90 at 22.5 is really solid for the Blazers. And now have 2 young wings locked in for the next 5 seasons on deals that'll be less than 15% of the cap.
One good offensively, one elite defensively. We'll see if they can evolve in the other areas of their game, but because you didn't break the bank for them, they don't necessarily have to.
Well, I saw this, I think it was last Wednesday, or maybe it was Thursday, but did you see that the Kings signed Keegan Murray?
I did not. What did he get?
I think it was 5 for $140.
Okay. And he's been a better player at times.
But 5 for $140?
Yeah, or 4 for $90. Or 4 for $82.
I mean, I think if we're being honest here, it was 5 for $140. Here's the other part. So today I saw this too, because a lot of these deadlines are today. Mm-hmm. Dyson Daniels, who had an exceptional comeback year with Atlanta last year in the trade from New Orleans, made a real name for himself. He's holding out and having a difference with Atlanta because they're offering 5 for $115, and he wants 5 for like $150.
Yeah.
I mean, so my point is, and I don't know how you feel about Dyson Daniels. I don't know how anybody feels about Dyson Daniels.
Sure. Just like people around the league are probably saying, I don't know how you feel about Shaedon Sharpe.
Well, and I think
it's $90 million. It's cheaper.
I think it's one thing to be fair and ask a question like, how much better is Toumani going to get offensively?
Yes.
It's not to take anything away what he is defensively, but if his game doesn't up at all offensively, there might be room to say, okay, fine, whatever, but like not the most amazing deal. So I think you're banking that he's going to get better offensively in some ways.
And combine that with being an all-defensive player year in and year out.
Yeah. And I'm more just curious if Portland, for whatever reason, numbers-wise, what was the threshold? I think it'd be tough to ever get this answer publicly because you don't want to talk about this stuff, right? Like, Portland wouldn't want to be on the record like, well, we actually didn't want to give Shaedon 5 for $110.
Right.
Well, why?
Right.
Well,
he's not very good defensively, and his three-point shooting wasn't very good last year.
We don't know where he is every game.
It's like what baseball teams have to do with arbitration when they do this with players and they have to go in front of a judge and be like, well, actually, have you seen his on-base percentage? This guy sucks. And it creates a really weird dynamic.
But you don't want to do that. So, this is good business. These are good contracts.
No-brainers.
He has had, and I think the Cronin thing is interesting too going into this year because we don't know what Dundon's going to be and what's internally the expectation. If he comes in and they're a playing team, I would imagine he's come in and go, okay, let's evaluate one more year. Where can we build now?
You're going in the right direction. You improved again.
If you win 30 games and you hit the under of your win total, what are you coming in chirping about? That's great, right?
Not a lot.
Like he'll have some deals on the books he'll have to pay, but so I think it's a big year internally for that organization. I still think it's fair to question the Jeremy Grant deal because despite what Gundy said, they ended up drafting a point guard. You kind of made Damian Lillard. You forced his hand, and then you gave him the 5-year $160 to Grant.
Right.
You got Drew Holiday, which you can say is an upgrade in some ways. The guy you gave the $4 to $100 million deal, you had to pay to get him out of here.
Yes.
And take on a contract that everybody covering the league said,
not a good deal.
And then even Dame. Love Dame. Love the return. It brought up a lot of goodwill and people emotional about it. He's paid $14 million, won't play a second this year. And you have no idea how he's going to be the year after with another year of age and coming off an Achilles. So he's had some questionable stuff and some bad deals, but the Denny deal, adding Toumani in it, and now these 2 contracts, kind of middle of the ground for me. There's some positives, and then there's also some negatives or things I don't necessarily agree with 100%. But yesterday was good business for Joe Cronin.
Well, and I think it gets back to why this year is so interesting and so important for everybody. They just got contract extensions, but now you got a new owner coming down the pipe. And if you win 30 games this year, it's a failure and it's a disappointment. And you're probably going to clean house. And so,
I agree with that.
That's why this is such an interesting year for them. And sometimes I have to catch myself as a non-NBA diehard, but somebody who follows the Blazers closely, of contracts and trade packages being like, whoa, what? And it's just the NBA is ballooning to that point where there's big money that's handed out and a lot of first-round picks that are getting traded for certain guys. And so maybe for some you see $90 million for Shaedon, who shot 31% from three and might be coming off the bench because he's not great defensively. And I lean the other way and say when you look at some of the other contracts that you mentioned for guys who were good players, I'm not knocking any of them, but to me it seems like value. And the same thing for Camara. He's the best defensive player you've had in 20 years. Lock him up. He wins $82 million.
He took a discount, too.
He took a discount, too. He could have got $87 million. He said, no, 82 is good. I don't know how close that negotiation was, but the fact that they both wanted to be here and you got him under contract going into the year, sometimes you can get the benefit of the guy who was playing in the contract year that has that big pop.
Yeah.
But at the end of the year, it costs you money because he had the pop year. But you also have the alternative to that of a guy who realizes, look at Baker in Cleveland. It's one random example, but it's like, man, I need to play through these injuries. I got to show myself to the organization. The season is a disaster. They move on. He goes out to have a great rest of his career, and Cleveland's been looking for a quarterback, but he was feeling the pressure of trying to earn the money. And so you never know how it's going to play out. Smart business by Portland to get these deals done. And the season begins on Wednesday.
T-Wolves, baby.
T-Wolves are in town. Edwards in town. Put him on the ice. Doesn't matter.
It's a nice little start test to your season, too, because if you end up getting blown out in this one.
Yep.
But if you win,
feel good.
Here we go, baby.
Feeling good. Wednesday night. It will be here.